Alright, what is up, my friends? Back for another episode of Arkonomics. Arkonomics Friday, baby. So, we got some things on the list here, but we'll start off how we always start off. Check out blue crystals. Again, I'll try to remember to always say this at the beginning of every video. This is for NA West specifically. Even if these prices aren't accurate for your region, generally, this is just to get you thinking. Look for trends of your own, and try to apply some of the ideas discussed here to help you. Crystals, again, unsurprisingly, haven't really done much. I want to say this is neither a good or bad thing, because the price dropped a little bit, but it didn't drop nearly as much as the first time around, despite massive amounts of bot bans. Kind of unsure as to why. That's why I kind of say this is neither a good nor bad thing. I mean, it's a good thing that it hasn't gone back up, as it's still stable around this price. I mean, you can see it's been stable for, honestly, probably about a month at this point. And that is a good thing. But it not going up, or rather, it not going down more, can leave some people a bit disappointed. In any case, though, I'm just glad it has kind of chilled out. But let's pop on over. I'm just checking out my inventory here, because I kind of use my inventory to gauge what I want to talk about sometimes. I do have a list usually, but today I'm going listless. I guess let's start off with engravings. It's never a bad thing to start off with engravings, especially since I know prices have trended down a little bit for some engravings. You can kind of see in the last couple days, stuff has finally started going down a bit. Whether this is due to people just opening their bags or people realizing, I don't know, honestly. But it's good to see that prices on these things are getting more reasonable. I think this is one of the big things that is prohibitive to newer players, especially people who don't have their accounts fully set up, and they want to obviously set up their character. Obviously, it's not something you're expected to be able to do instantly upon starting the game. You know, this is a long-term goal, getting legendary books, especially something like Grudge, but some of these prices are a bit inaccessible even for veterans of the game, and I feel like there's a balance between working for something and also not spending forever on something, you know? Anyways, though, that's all to say, I think this is good. It's good to see finally downward trends on engraving books, because God knows this is something that should have happened pretty much when Frog came out, but it just didn't for NA West. At least in any meaningful way. Now, I'll just reset the market, and I'll hit up my fishy boys. So fish, unsurprisingly, have been going up. This is most likely due to the patch. I'm sure everybody knows about the patch. I think we might have mentioned it last week. But the patch for fish, trade skill materials in general, you have to have a character above 1375 on your roster to sell trade skill items. While this isn't my favorite fix, and I've always been a supporter of the CAPTCHA, I just think CAPTCHAs needed a little bit of help and tweaking and finessing, but I think overall CAPTCHAs were a positive for the game. The 1375 restriction, while it isn't my favorite, I also don't completely hate it, because they could have done something much more restrictive towards actual players. This 1375 restriction does kind of hurt newer players, obviously, specifically newer players, but the amount of gold you need to get to 1375, I think, is reasonable enough without being able to sell trade skill materials. And once they hit 1375, they're able to sell their trade skill materials that they've been banking up anyways. So again, it's not my favorite solution, but I think as far as solutions go, they could have done much worse. That is to say, fish have still been slowly going up. Fusion material prices have taken a little bit to catch up, but they're finally starting to catch up now. They just hit 14 gold today, and kind of a low quantity. I mean, it's not low quantity, but it's usually used to seeing like a 400k wall. This is only a 200k wall, so interesting to see if this will go up to 15 anytime soon. As far as purples go, the wall is pretty stiff at 29. But we will see. I'll check out pearl prices. Pearls should be like 11, yeah, 13, okay. Pearls are still going up. And then Oreja Solar Carp. Let's take a look at these. Ooh, somebody's selling them for 2. Refresh that. Well, or I'll just buy them, I guess. No? Okay. There we go. 46. So the wall is kind of at 47. There's not that many up, though, to be honest, so interesting to note. We'll check out the other trade skill materials, too, since we haven't popped over here in a minute. Recent price, 900 gold. That means somebody bought this for 900 gold. What the actual fuck? So, yeah, it looks like some fuckery is afoot here. What the fuck? Do I have any meat to sell? Am I about to make money? I have no meat. You hate to see it. When your boy's meatless. But, yeah, you can clearly see some fuckery is afoot here. I'm not sure what relevance bots have to this, but looks like hunting's back on the menu for NA West at least. Jesus Christ. Let's check out wood. Wood is never usually that great. Never has been. I don't think it ever will be. Yeah. Blue wood is actually kind of making a comeback. This shit used to be, like, worthless. I need to finish that video I've been working on. Relic. Excavation materials. Honestly, as far as stability goes, excavating materials is generally the most stable of the trade skills. For some reason. I don't know why. It is a mystery to me. And then let's check out foraging. Foraging had a massive spike not too long ago, and then it's settled down. I think mushrooms are still quite expensive. Yeah, mushrooms are going a little crazy. A little sicko mode. It is truly a mystery as to why. Mushrooms are the rare spawn for foraging, so perhaps that's why it's mushroom specific. In any case, I won't yap about trade skills all day, even though I could. I love trade skills. That is no surprise. Let's pop over to skins just real quick and see what they're doing. Adventure weapon. This is going to be the anniversary stuff. Looks like it's about 12k. Witcher stuff hasn't went up yet. New Year's stuff looks like it's at 18k right now, but it's been about 14k, so it hasn't really went up. Unless right now is when it's going up, but I doubt it. It's just probably somebody needs to relist. Although the recent price is 18k, so somebody did buy it for 18. Perhaps. We'll have to see. Wait and see. But the Witcher stuff hasn't went up yet. You can kind of see Neon stuff as, like, weapon. Hasn't went up either. The Neria's wardrobe, Hot Topic stuff. Interesting to see. Interesting to see. Where is Witcher skin set? 35k, 34k, whatever you'd like to say. Then the anniversary martial artist chest. And then this is, yeah, that is the main chest that has all of them in it. So if you're gonna buy a chest, this is generally the one you want, because it will let people, you know, pick what they want rather than just buying the class specific one. Any case, looks like it's still about the same as it is, if not a bit lower, it looks like. I do think the anniversary skin chests will go up a sizable amount after the stuff leaves the shop. And I still do think the same for the New Year stuff. Just hasn't been enough time. I think it's been out of the shop for, what, 1 week now? So, need some time for the supply to dry up. And the Shadow of Stern stuff, man, what the fuck is this? I don't get it. Just crazy to me. Any hoosers, let's move on to gems. I want to peep the gems, as I haven't even checked out gems in a minute myself. Let's just go level 10 Annihilation straight away. There's no Soulfist ones, of course. 600k, 605k, So what is a level 10 cooldown gem looking like then? About 250? Yes, sir. 250-ish? Interesting, interesting. I think that's a bit of a decrease since last time we peeped these. Which is... I'm just thinking about it in like a terms of gold value, because when gold becomes more valuable, obviously the price of things goes down. There's a lot more at work here than just the value of gold itself, the intrinsic value of it, but it's interesting to think about, because mainly the reason why I'm thinking about it like that is because we have Frog, right? So that's Frog's entire purpose, is to remove gold from the economy, making the remaining gold more valuable, right? We'll see, though, how the gems go, because there's been a lot of, you know, the bot prevention changes they did. They messed with the gems. They messed with the gem listings, too. It's interesting. We'll just have to wait and see, really. That's about all I can really say on this. As far as artist preparation stuff, I know some people have saying they're saving, like, artist-specific stones, stuff with, like, expert, or, like, heavy armor. You know, stuff like this. What other support engravings are there? Awakening. You know. Well, let me search for Relic Tier 3. You know, stuff like this. And I definitely think it's a viable strategy if you have a bunch of support stones that you're saving for artist release, and you want to capitalize on that big first initial rush of people cutting stones, setting up their artists. Depending on how many stones you have, you may want to start listing them actually before artist drops the patch itself, and list it for 3 days, because there's a listing limit. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of people watching this video know about the listing limit, but in case you don't, you can only list a certain amount of items a day. I believe it's 20. So if you have a bunch of items, like, say you're saving up stones, and you've been saving up stones for a while, and you have a lot of stones, you're going to hit that listing limit, so you may want to start listing them early for whatever you feel is a fair price. So, like, let's say this stone I'm searching right now, I think I'll be totally happy if I sell them for like 1.4k or whatever. Then I would obviously type that in, list it for 3 days, and let it go. And then when the next day rolls over, I have my listing cap reset, and then I can list more. Then next day, I list more, and then artist comes out, right? Just so you can move your stock during the most hype period of the release, right? So you're able to get as much as you can out of it. But I'm sure a lot of people know that, but just in case you didn't and you have a bunch of stones and you're wondering how to list them, that's probably the go-to way to do it. I think we'll leave it there for this week. I think I've talked enough. I've talked your heads off enough. This is a bit longer episode than normal because I went a little bit more in depth on some things. Let me know what you guys think about the whole situation that I was talking about earlier with the bots, fish specifically, and also the Shadow of Stern shit. I don't get it. Somebody left a comment last week saying it's just people being people. I mean, I can believe that for sure. It's just bizarre. Anyways, as always, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next Friday for another episode of Arkonomics. Like the video if you like the video, of course. Dislike it if you dislike it. And subscribe if you made it this far and you haven't already. And of course, consider supporting the channel by becoming a member if you would like to. We're up to 7 members, and hopefully growing. It's like a Patreon subscription or a Twitch sub. As always, not required, but it helps out a lot for me doing this full time. I appreciate you all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!